Welcome to this year's first annual 2021 Nguzo Saba Festival. I am Miss Traci of Ujamaa Journey. And today we are celebrating Ujamaa. Ujamaa is cooperative work and economics. It is buying from each other. It is building and maintaining our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit together. Ujamaa is buying each other's products and services as they could become available and supporting each other as we grow as a community. Ujamaa, cooperative work and economics. A great example of Ujamaa will be Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, before the race massacre of 1920. This is where you had the Black community working together and buying from each other and creating a well-established economic system. Ujamaa, cooperative work and economic. Work together, they bought from each other, built a community where they did not need to outside of the community to gain anything. It was all the community, which created a great circle of economic. Also here in Columbus, Ohio, Mount Vernon Avenue is a great example where you have many stores along Mount Vernon where people would go in to buy products and services from the stores on Mount Vernon before it was interrupted by the free. Again, cooperative work and economics, working together to build our community and create a wealth. Ujamaa. Thank you. Again, I am Miss Traci, and today's principle is Ujamaa.
Hey. Hi, everyone. So we're back with Give Flowers When They're Due. We are doing our video representation of the individuals that were honored and selected as the up-and-coming trailblazers as an ode to Black history back in 2018. That was a couple years ago. So everyone, this is Sana. And no, you can't call her that. Only I can call her that. And the people that she loves and loves her. Not to say she don't love you. She loves all God's children. She loves all y'all. But Cassandra Lloyd, my friend, is here with us, and I'm so grateful. Good morning, Sana.
Good morning.
So Sana's like, what do you have me on camera at 8 a.m. doing? Really? And Sana, you know that I don't even really know, but we here, so we gonna make the best of it.
All right, I'm rolling with the punches.
That's what's up. So just to give a little background, but you already know this. It was Black History Month of 2018, and I don't know where the thought came from, but it was just, it's like Black History Month has been the same people ever since we were children. So I'm like, yo, like something is not right about that. And you know me, I'm always like, if something's not right about it, I'm gonna figure it out. And so I really took the opportunity to just highlight different individuals who are my peers that I know are worthy of edification, and that we're not, because I include myself too, we're not any different or more special than anybody watching. And so it's like, if we can see ourselves in one another doing it in the here and now, then we don't get kind of masqueraded by, oh, it was only Martin or it was only Malcolm. Right. So I'm gonna start really quick just to you. So this is about you, Sana. This is just a conversation between you and I want to read to you the back cover, because I don't know if I've done that or if you've had a chance to see it or read it.
Mm-mm.
So, Give Flowers When They're Due, an ode to Black history. Give Flowers When They're Due is a narrative created to pay homage to our historical figures through the celebration of up-and-coming trailblazers. This is a charge to no longer hold your appreciation for others and edification for self for a rainy day. What use are the days of hoarding our love and gratitude like manna? Distribute flowers now, my guy. No need for an extravagant bouquet. Your words of affirmation and appreciation will surely be enough to resemble the ever-cherished just because wildflower picked by the road Then the, oh, it's a Hallmark holiday, so let me grab this corner store bouquet right quick to go through the motions. I stumble on that part. And I want to unpack it a little bit, because we can, I'm going to read it one more time.
Okay.
Your words of affirmation and appreciation will surely be enough to resemble the ever-cherished just because wildflower, picked by the road, than the, oh, it's a Hallmark holiday, so let me grab this corner store bouquet right quick to go through the motions. And so I think there's something so beautiful about, it's not necessarily February 14th, or it's not December 25th, but I can still show you that I love you and I appreciate you. I don't have to wait.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily Black History Month, even though we know that it is, but it's Black History Day every day that we're Black.
Yeah.
And for the public, oh shoot, almost. And for those who aren't Black, it's Black History Day every day.
Yeah.
And so, and it doesn't have to look like anything. Like, I think people like to wait till it looks like it's perfect, or on the surface it's like, oh, it's red and pink and it has this heart on it, so that makes it better. But if I'm like just walking and I see something, I'm like, oh man, that reminds me of Sana. What do? We hear a song and I'm like, oh shoot, and you're like, man, T's gonna like this song. We send it.
Yeah.
It's not that we necessarily listened or have talked to each other for months or maybe even years, but it's like, I just thought about you. Like, you just came to my spirit. I'm gonna reach out.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna overthink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to do that more and more. Like, if somebody comes across my mind, and sometimes you're busy and you don't get to it, but I mean, this past year, COVID just making you realize, like, obviously we know tomorrow isn't promised, but dang, past year has definitely showed us that tomorrow isn't promised. So reach out. If somebody's on your mind, text them. I do like a little conference call with my friends every once in a while. So we got to get on that a little bit more.
That sounds good to me. No, that's exactly it. Because now it's like, it's more tangible. It's more like right in our face. And it really, no one's exempt. And I think people know that now.
Right. From very young to very old. It doesn't matter the age. Just never know when your time is. So celebrate people while they're here.
Amen. So it says we need this. As a community, if we're going to progress at the rate necessary to not only bless our livelihood, but for those of our children and the generations to come. Let's do Nina, Maya, Malcolm, and Martin justice, not by continually celebrating them every year like clockwork, but by adding to their number, supporting one another, commemorating life in real time, not waiting to ignite a benefit following their untimely death. This is my contribution to give flowers when they're due. May the aroma fill the air and overflow your soul as you continue to press on in your purpose, embrace every step of the way. So, on page 61 of this manuscript, and you know what? If you didn't get one of the 50 original copies, then it might be a different page for you, like when you watch this.
Okay.
Talking to like people, and so today you're page 61, but after I do some edits and just refine it a little bit before we re-release it, it might be something different.
Okay.
But I'm gonna read you your letter.
Okay.
Sana, I've had the opportunity to see you grow from a collegiate athlete to a professional. Seeing you and your teammates put in work day in and day out without an assigned athletic trainer all your own encouraged me to step up to the plate to extend my services to Wright State University women's track and field team. I have seen you commit your body, mind, and spirit to serving the Lord and giving him unrelenting praise through your gift of sport. I am grateful for your pureness of heart, your humility, your innocence, and love. Praising God with you and speaking of his goodness will never grow old. You have a heart for Jesus. You continue to pursue the plan he has for you. For you know deep within your soul at all times what he is called and is calling you to do. Your path may not look like the next person, but remember that in the matchlessness comes the opportunity for God to show up and show out. Be ye ever encouraged, Sana. In light, Tiandra.
Love it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I didn't hear. Yeah, that was my first time hearing that.
Yeah. What's so interesting is that like our part of our very vast conversation just a few days ago, it kind of reminisced that,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I just, when I went back in, because I read this after we talked,
Yeah,
and I was like, whoa, like, yeah. So it's real, girl.
it is.
It's real. But I don't know. What do you want to talk about who you identified as your greatest historical or ancestral influence in Black history in 2018? Do you remember?
Yeah, I believe it was Gail Devers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about her.
She's overcome, I believe it was Graves' disease. And I know when I was younger, I had rickets when I was younger, and I couldn't walk till I was like almost 2 years old. I want to say. So, for those who don't know what rickets is, it's a vitamin D deficiency. So my bones were weak, and like just coming from that, who would have known I would be running track and doing what I'm doing. And Gail Devers, Graves, I don't know, is that an autoimmune disease? I'm not sure exactly.
It is. It affects the thyroid.
Okay, yeah. And she just overcame that. Olympian, not only in hurdles, but also in the sprints, the 100-meter dash. So just seeing her story, and she's a short person. Short. I'm 5'6". I've met her before, and she might have came to my shoulder. And not typically is someone that short a hurdler getting over those barriers. So like just her story and just how she persevered past health issues is just an inspiration, and I love her testimony.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. So when we did this on Instagram was the platform, because it was really just, let's just do this. There wasn't a whole lot of like structure, or I don't know what to say. But I'm just saying, when we put it out there, you know, Gail actually recognized it. Or Miss Gail or Sister Gail. I don't know what to call her. I want to be respectful. But I thought that was the coolest thing, because she didn't have to do that. And that just goes to show like that, you know, how bright your light is. And the fact that you all had already connected, it was probably just a nod to be like, yep, keep doing it. Like, you're on your way. And so that's super cool. I am going to read a little of the post that was made. It said Instagram's hurdle queen, because that used to be your IG handle.
That's still it.
It is?
Yeah.
Hurdle queen Cassandra Lloyd not only blazes the track, but is honored as Spirit Over Flesh LLC's Black History Trailblazer. When asked who one of her greatest influences is, Lloyd excitedly identifies Gail Devers. Cassandra has been running track since 14 years old. She shares that due to a medical condition, she was not able to walk until she was almost 2 years old. She says, "It is a blessing that God has healed me, and not only can I walk, I can run," in all caps. Cassandra has won numerous awards at the high school and collegiate level, as well as competed on the professional level at the U.S. National Championships, USA World Championship Trials, and the USA Olympic Trials. Gail Devers knows overcoming obstacles all too well. All three of Olympian Devers' gold medals were won while she battled Graves' disease, which causes hyperthyroidism. Devers was named the fastest woman in the world with her 100-meter race in the Barcelona Olympics of 1992. Cassandra had the opportunity to meet Gail Devers in person, saying, "She's been an inspiration to me since I started hurdling. I appreciate the tips that she gives me. She is a very humble person. I was honored to meet her. Both ladies are beautiful examples of humility and resilience. It's exciting to cheer on Lloyd as she fearlessly chases God's plan for her life, and support Gail Devers as she advocates for Graves' disease awareness and continues to inspire us all." So you want to talk a little bit about your track endeavors?
As of this year?
Just whatever comes to your spirit.
Yeah, so this year I'm pursuing the Olympics, trying to get pursuing the time to get to the trials and advance from there in the 100-meter hurdles. Definitely been a trying time for a lot of people just trying to train this past year. There wasn't a season last year for track and field due to COVID. So, and then a lot of places being shut down. It was fine outdoor. There were some tracks that were shut down. So finding innovative ways, even running along concrete, which is not great for my shins or anyone's who's not a road racer. But yeah, running on treadmills, which isn't very conducive to training. But I mean, finding innovative ways, definitely got creative. So, I mean, I guess that was a challenge and pushed you to go a little bit harder, work with what you got. Luckily, my church had a little bit of a workout equipment that I could use when things were shut down, gyms were shut down. So just working through that, and my training's going well now. I go to Cedarville University right now for indoor to train. So thank God that they're open and they have a facility where I can get done what I need to get done. I'm feeling great. I did PR of 275 on the squats yesterday.
All right. Big weight.
Trying to get to 300, but
let's go.
Yeah, so yeah, just progressing, not only in track and field, but in my faith, and just relying on God to see me through, because it's His plan, not mine. I'm gonna just keep going till He tell me to stop. So my ultimate goal is that whatever I'm doing, that people will see God, and that in some way, some form or fashion, that my life will touch theirs. I don't want my living to be in vain. I want to have a purpose here, fulfill that, and when I get to heaven, He'll say, "Well done." Okay.
My good and faithful.
Yeah. So yeah, I probably went on a tangent, but yeah, that's in a nutshell what I'm doing, where I'm at.
That's beautiful. All right, there's a section that says, in your chapter, it says further reflection and little room for error. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with track and field on an intimate level. My first real experience with the sport was during my sophomore year of college, when I was assigned a rotation as athletic training student. And I don't like to talk about myself, and I'm like, why is that? But I guess it's worthy because it like lays the background, because this is important. I need people to understand this. Being that up close and personal to the sport, I gained a greater appreciation for what track and field athletes have to devote in order to compete. Unlike other sports I had grown up with and knew well, like basketball and football, track and field does not provide you the opportunity to rely on your teammates or the mental aspect of the game in the same way.
Not at all.
Man, y'all are, I don't know if this is the best word, but beastie. Because, you know what I mean? Like, you really have to be 100% aligned in your physical, mental, spiritual. Like, you have no room. You have very little room. Like, God can come through, show up and show out. We know that. But the slightest thing, and the fact that y'all compete all day long, typically, you know what I mean? Like,
all day.
You over here doing the hurdles, you over here sprint on a relay team, and it's like, and you know, there's heptathletes that are throwing and jumping and doing all that at the same time. And I'm grateful because some of my closest friends and the people that I feel closely aligned with are track and field athletes, because there's something special about y'all.
Yeah.
Like, literally, does Paul say that in Corinthians? He talks about like running the race. Literally. You know?
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing ever. And it's really cool from like, I guess, a health and wellness aspect, because you just sit there, you just marvel, you're just like, wow. And you know how seriously you all take your well-being. I was having this conversation last night. There are people who are masters of their body.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say a majority of those individuals are track and field athletes, because you weren't given the luxury not to be.
Yeah.
Because often, and I don't know, I have a potty mouth sometimes. Just be real. God is working on me, but you don't got to be perfect. And you just, usually y'all are given the crap. Like, you know what I mean? Like the timing that y'all could use the facility, the supplies and the materials and the staffing that you have around you.
Yeah.
You know, you're lucky if you get a volunteer. And I'm not like saying that because I watched it and I'm like, seriously? And I know it is like, it is though consistent around like at least our country.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't get the hype that basketball and football get. Let's be honest.
Right. And I mean, I don't, as far as the collegiate level, I don't know what each individual school. I'm sure if you have a better football program, then your track program might get a little bit more if you won national championships. But yeah, most of the time it's just like, here, this is what you get. Be happy with it. And I mean, our sport is every sport: run, jump, throw. You know, like it's the basis of every sport. And if you go back to the mental aspect, as you were talking about, like if your mind's not right, you can have the best training session the day before and XYZ. But yeah, when it comes down to the time of competition, if your mind's not there, if you're psyching yourself out, then I forget the percentage. I think it's like 70 or 80%. They say track is 70, 80% mental. So definitely true. That when you're doing that warm up, is not only warming your body up, but warming up your mind to prepare for what you're about to do. And then I guess back to how track is represented throughout the U.S., not only on the collegiate aspect, but even the professional aspect. Like there's the NBA, WNBA, NFL, all these national teams for these other sports. Track has nothing. You know, I always thought about what if there was like a track league, like
yes,
like certain regions you have like whatever number of professional athletes, and it's just a team, because you don't after the collegiate level, you don't ever really have a team unless you're on Team USA when you get to the Olympics.
Right.
So, but on the levels under the Olympics, there's nothing. And even in the US, like as far as the circuit, like overseas, they have a lot of circuits. Track and field is big overseas. We don't really have that feel right now. There is a program, American Track League. They're trying to bring more of that feel to the US, and they've had this series of track meets on ESPN right now. And I'll be running there on the 21st of February in Arkansas. So yeah.
That's exciting. Do I get to watch? Do you have a link?
I don't have a link. I can send it to you, but
okay.
It is the 21st on ESPN. So,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. I love that number too, just so you know.
21.
Yeah, 21, 20. No, I'm just like 2 plus 1 is 3 though.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah. It's a beautiful number. Nice. There's another section. Let me see. It says, don't question purpose. Listen, it is not meant for any of us to know or marginally understand someone else's purpose for their life. We do not get to dictate how someone else determines to exude their time, energy, attention, and devotion. There have been way too many times when I have questioned and subsequently deterred from what I know I was being led to do. See, most of us go through the motions of not knowing our purpose. We don't know what we are supposed to do with our lives. At the end of the day, what you do know is what you like. Ask yourself, what are your preferences? How about the desires of your heart? When you think about it, they're the same thing. Go the way your spirit is leading you. Rid yourself of anything foreign to your being. Forget others' opinions of you and expectations for you. And do what you mother effing like. The real you. Don't be afraid to focus on yourself. Stay in your lane. It is not your place to judge, nor is it even your role to deter. And I'll stop there, but yeah. What'd you hear? Or have you ever been in that situation where it's like, I don't know, where you might have listened to somebody or somebody might have came in and said, oh, this is what you need to be doing?
When when you're I'll say elite, when you're an elite athlete, or people see potential in you, you always get people in your ear, either naysayers or people trying to tell you, oh, I did this in college, or I did this is what you should do, da 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 da. And I think I'm strong-willed enough to block that out. I might act like I'm listening, but respectfully, but I do what I want to do and what God tells me to do. I think my parents did a great job teaching me that discernment, knowing who's there for you and who's not, knowing who to listen to and who's not. I mean, and sometimes it can be family members, and just because that wasn't their norm and what they did, like me pursuing something still at 31 years old, like, you just made it to the trials before, you did this before, isn't it time to give it up, get a real job, things like that, like, and yeah, so you get a lot of that, but just speaking in terms of purpose, like, that's all I've been trying to, deal with God and like, what is my purpose? But I think it's crazy, like a Disney movie can kind of give you revelation, because the movie Soul, they talked about a spark, like your spark got you to come down to earth or whatever. And a spark could be like your gift, what you were given. So track and field would be my spark, but your spark isn't necessarily your purpose. So I took that, I was like, okay, track and field might not necessarily be my purpose. I think my purpose, as I mentioned before, is to give glory to God and to spread his name, spread the name of Jesus, speak the name of Jesus, and just let people know who God is and bring people to his kingdom. I believe that's what my purpose is. Whatever else falls outside of that, great. But I'm going to give glory to God no matter what I'm doing. If it's
that's beautiful.
If it's working behind a desk, whatever it is.
That's it, because we work ye unto the Lord. Yes. So, man, that we get to be on this beautiful platform, Ujamaa Journey, and Brother Hatem, who you got to meet, who is behind the scenes making all this happen, which we're so grateful for. We just had a conversation about retiring. And I said, I'm retired.
Okay.
Did I tell you that the other day?
I can't, maybe not in those words.
Okay. I know now that I strictly work unto the Lord. Yeah. And I know that I am forever taken care of. I know it without a shadow of a doubt. And so there's no more of me tiring myself out, stressing myself out for a check or for anyone. And you know what I mean? Because so it's like, I'm retired of that. And it's like, the same is available to you, since you're so concerned about what I'm over here doing or not doing. And yeah, so that just really spoke to me. So it's like, because we all, it's other people's opinions, and then that is to their projection of what they wish they were doing or had the freedom to do, and their fear being projected. Sometimes it's not like coming as a naysayer, like you said. Sometimes it's the people that love you, because they love you so much that they feel like they want to protect you. But what we have to understand is that God protects us. And it's like, even like, I tell a story about my mom and I, before going to med school, as I was preparing, my mom was like, I just don't understand why you insist on pushing yourself so hard. And I was like, because I called when I was tired, and I was like, you know, I had a full career while I was doing this and so many other things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what I called to hear. Like,
Yeah.
I called to hear, like, you got this. Like, just breathe for a second. But the thing that my grandmother taught me back, like, when I was at Wright State, doing everything that I was doing then, is that we have the same access and line to God as anybody else does.
Yep.
So when I'm picking up the phone to hear, all you got to do is take a breath and chill, and then I don't get that, what am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to chill out or not go so hard because somebody on the other end of the line, that's where they are?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I just going to pick up the phone and call God
Yeah.
and be like, yo, bruh, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because I'm tired.
Right.
And what I've come to find out is, like, there are people in your life that have that spiritual counsel.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, for you, like, I don't want to say forever, but it's been some years, Sana. Like, we've spent time together, like, in every land that I've been in, literally. Like, you've come visit me in Indiana, you've come to visit me in Columbus. Like, and I don't take that lightly. I'm so grateful, to almost the point of tears, but thugs don't cry. It's I'm just saying, like, but your spiritual discernment has always been so high in my perspective. And that's something, like, right now, God has me learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that was a tangent, but it's like, I'm grateful for you. I do want to ask maybe one other question and see if you have anything else that you want to add.
Okay.
But you were appointed as an up and coming trailblazer. I don't know how many people are going to see this. That's not for me to know. I know that God pushed me this way to be like, you see them? Go tell them they're great. I'm like, okay, I can do that. You know? And you are. Who have you seen? If there was somebody that you were to name an up and coming trailblazer, give it an ode to Black history, who would it be?
Who would it be? I don't know. I have so many amazing people in my life. My sisters are amazing. I have 5 sisters, 2 brothers. I have a sister who's getting her doctorate in psychology. One's a physical therapist. One's an entrepreneur. The other one is trying to pursue her master's degree, and then I have another in business. My brother's a detective in Baltimore, and my younger brother is a correctional officer in Youngstown. So, I mean, my family's been an inspiration. My mom, dad, I don't know. I just have so many family and friends. So I'm just going to say all of us, the Lloyds.
That's what's up. And I can echo that because I met some of y'all and felt the spirit. You know, Your mom is such a beautiful person. Your dad, I just love his smile. So that's beautiful. And I also want to tell people that don't come for Sana. She just got put on the spot. She did not prepare that. So if you didn't hear your name, you feel like your name should have been said, guess what? Somebody's going to give you your flowers. Or guess what? Call God and talk to him about it. Okay?
I guess I can't be safe to say my family. I'm a little biased, but
and that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, Sana, is there any questions that you have for me or anything else you wanted to talk about?
Any questions for you? I didn't prepare anything.
No, that's okay, girl. We just wrapping up, but I'm being respectful. You feel me?
Yeah. No, but I just want to say I appreciate you feeling led by God to put me in your book and represent me as a trailblazer. I think that's very special, and I thank you for that and appreciate you. And I love the covering that God has over your life, and then that you're trying to pursue God and and touch others, and yeah, being spirit led. So I appreciate you in my life, and thank you for the acknowledgement.
I'm grateful. And I just want to say there's one, you know how I'm super intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between being intentional and being intelligent. So I do want to throw that out there. We won't belabor it. But there's a word that you've used, and you used it a couple times, and it's trying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we ain't trying, we're doing it. You know, like I think that word has been like, I wish I could Google right now the definition of it, but it just doesn't, I don't receive it in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's not what you're communicating.
Yeah.
Because, and this is what some people I think could use to hear, because I had to learn it myself. Like, F a plan B. Like, there is no plan B. Like,
Yep.
live your life, because like you said, tomorrow's not promised, and we know that. Like, the next moment's not promised. And so live your life. And
Yeah.
when you live your life like fearlessly, you're gonna be blessed because of it. And get out of here so much, I think, you know, and get out of people in your ear, and research says, and oh, you'll only make this much if you do this.
Yeah.
Because that don't mean nothing. And yeah, I just really wanted to say that, like, we ain't trying, your sister ain't trying, she's pursuing, like, she's doing, we're being, you know what I mean?
I understand. We'll have
And you're not trying either, girl. You are blazing the trail.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. We can't wait to tune in on February 21st on ESPN.
Yep.
To just be there and support you.
Yes.
And watch you live your purpose through your spark.
Yes.
Thanks for teaching me. I appreciate that.
Came from Disney. I'll give Disney there or whoever.
But you taught me, because I turned it on. I fell asleep.
Oh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Disney, but lights out, I'm out.
And who knows if that was their intention. That's how I interpreted the message.
Listen, Sana, that'll preach. That's a whole word.
Yeah.
The whole word. All right, man. Well, I love you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you, everyone. Give flowers when they're due. It'll be out at some point. But right now, how about you buckle up and enjoy these videos?
Stay tuned.
All right. Y'all take care. He'll stop recording now.
Do nothing else in your life.
Okay.
Yeah, well. And if at any time you can't see me, hear me, all that great stuff, just let me know. So I'm gonna have us start off on our backs. Taking up space on your mat. And then either close the eyes or have a soft gaze. And then begin to find your breath. Just focus a moment on the breath. Start taking deep inhale in. Letting it rise up. To the heart. And then pausing. At the throat. And then letting out your exhale. Again, starting with a deep inhale, letting the belly expand, the ribs expand, and then letting the air rise up to the heart. Then pausing a moment at the throat and letting it go. Exhale it out. And then just continue with this cycle of breath. Remembering you can always come back to the breath when you need it. Continuing to inhale. And just a gentle reminder to invite in whatever energy that you need. And letting go of any energy that does not serve you at this moment. Continuing to let the spine sink deeper into the mat. And then eventually working your way into just stillness. And letting go. And then start to slowly awaken, starting from the bottom, working your way up to the top. Starting with the toes, working your way to the ankles, small circular movements clockwise, and then counterclockwise. Bringing the knees up to the sun, planting the feet down onto the earth. And then just letting the knees fall to the right. And then fall to the left. Back to the right. Back to the left. And then the knees come straight back up. And then a gentle pelvic lift. Just slightly about 6 inches off the earth. And then move the pelvis to the right, to the left, back to the right, back to the left, and then lift it up slowly, and then release it back down. And then working your way to the fingers, opening the fingers really wide, and then drawing in to a fist, the tightest fist that you can form, tensing all the muscles you can. And then let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then moving the wrist clockwise, counterclockwise, lifting the right shoulder up by the ear, releasing it down. Left shoulder by the ear, releasing it down. And then bringing both shoulders up by the ears, releasing them back down the spine. Taking the head and the neck, turning it to the right, and hold. And then bring it back to center. Turning it to the left, and hold. Bringing it back to center. And then letting the chin tuck to the chest. Releasing it all the way back. Eyes gently gaze behind you. And then bringing the head back to neutral. And then if the eyes are still closed, gently open them to fully awaken. Bringing the right knee into the chest, extending the left leg long. Pressing into that intestine. Begin to move in small circles. Continuing to breathe. Inhale it in. Exhale it out. And then bringing your right hand onto your shin, placing your left hand on your hip to stabilize it. Opening that right leg, coming into your half, happy baby. Last breath. And then bringing that right leg across the body to the left side, placing the right hand and the shoulders stable onto the earth for just a gentle twist, just to stretch out that right glute. That IT band. And then bringing it back to center. Extending the leg long. Taking your hands, clasping behind the back of the hamstring, and just giving yourself the stretch that you feel that you need. Maybe you want to point the toes, maybe you want to flex. See what feels good for you. And then if you want to deepen it, bringing the hands up higher on the calf, blowing the arms out. Last breath. Release. Bringing that knee back in for a final squeeze. And then switch legs, bringing the left knee in, right leg long. Pressing onto the intestine. And then begin to do small circles, massaging the intestine even more. And then taking the left hand onto the shin, placing the right hand onto the hip to stabilize it, opening that left leg, coming into your half happy baby, taking a full breath here, and then letting it go. And then bringing that left leg across the body to the right side, pressing the left hand into the earth, the shoulders still stable on the earth for just a gentle twist to stretch out that IT band and that left glute. Last breath here. Let it go. And then bringing the knee back to center. Pulling it in, and then extending the leg long, taking both hands to clasp behind the hamstring. Maybe you want to point the toes, flex. Find what stretch works for you right here. And then if you want to deepen it, bringing the hands up to the calf, bowing the elbows out. Staying here for another breath. Let it go. And then folding the knee back in, pressing it on the intestine one more time. And then bringing both knees in together, grabbing opposite wrists or opposite elbows, rounding yourself up like a little ball, acknowledging yourself, hugging yourself for this very practice. And then release it out, arms long overhead, feet at the opposite ends of the earth. Take a deep inhale in, exhale it out. Another breath in, exhale it out. And then fold over to whichever side that suits you, left or right, coming into your fetal position. Just take a brief moment here. And then using the strength and power of your arm, pushing yourself up, coming into your table, finding your neutral spine, and then begin to move the hips, just to still awaken that core and the rest of the body, circling around in one direction, and then moving it into the other direction. Still continuing to breathe. And then coming back to your neutral spine. Inhale, pushing the heart forward and coming into your cow. Exhale, arching the back, coming into your cat. Inhale, push it forward, cow. Not gonna moo or meow today, no 5-year-olds. Exhale it out. Arching the back. Doing 3 more rounds of breath in your cat and cow pose. Finding what works for you. You know, weird is my jam, always is. Either shaking the head, yes or no, maybe some figure 8s. Just let it feel good. Continuing with the breath. One more breath. And then coming back to your neutral spine. Inhale, reaching the right arm up. Exhale, thread your needle. Inhale again, right arm up. Exhale, thread your needle. Last one, inhale, right arm up. Exhale, thread your needle. Resting onto that shoulder. And then push up on the shoulder just slightly to deepen that stretch. Maybe you want to walk your left fingers forward. Maybe you want to extend the left leg. If it's in your practice, maybe you want to lift that left leg. Final breath here. Exhale it out, bringing that left knee down. Left hand underneath the shoulder. Inhale, reaching the right hand up. Exhale, setting it back down to the earth. Other side, left hand up. Exhale, thread your needle. Inhale, left hand up. Exhale, thread your needle. Last one. Inhale, up. Exhale, thread it through. Resting onto that shoulder, and then push up slightly onto that shoulder to deepen the stretch. Option to walk the right fingers forward. Maybe you want to extend the right leg. Maybe you want to lift it. Find what works for you. Last breath. Exhale it out, bringing the right knee back down. Right hand back underneath the shoulder. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, set it down. Placing the fingers onto the earth. Untucking the toes. And then coming into your slight hover. Ooh, Brady's going to be new to this one. Untuck the hips. Tuck. Untuck. Tuck. Untuck the hips. Exhale it out, tuck it in. Last one. And then tuck. Welcome to Saturday morning twerk session. Yes! Pressing the heels back, coming into your downward facing dog, relaxing the shoulders down the spine. We're going to be here for 3 breaths. Letting your downward facing dog feel good. Whether you want to shake your head yes or no. Maybe cuddle out the feet. Perhaps keeping a slight bend in the knees. Pressing the heart back towards the thighs. Another breath in. Let it out. And then walk the fingers back by the toes, coming into just a forward fold. Deep bend in the knees. Feet are hip width distance apart. And then finding your version of ragdoll, whether you want to interlock the fingers behind the base of the skull, grab opposite elbows, or just hang. Maybe you want to sway side to side, shaking the head yes or no. Continuing to breathe. One more breath here. Exhale it out. And then begin to slowly come up one vertebrae at a time with some gentle reminders, keeping all 4 corners of the feet pressed into the earth. Slight bend of the knees. Tucking that tailbone in. Head is the last thing to come up. Relaxing those shoulders down the spine. Coming into your extended mountain pose. Taking a breath here. Exhale it out. Another breath in. Exhale it out. Bringing the hands to heart center, acknowledging your practice. One more breath. Let it go. And then hinge forward from the waist. Planting the hands and then walking forward into your high plank. Holding that high plank, we're going to hold it for a little while. 3 breaths. Shoulders over wrists, tucking that tailbone. Option 2, drop to the knees if you need to. Continuing to breathe. Last breath. And then lower halfway. Exhale, push it back up. Inhale, lower halfway. Push it back up. You know, I like to sneak my push-ups in. Lower halfway. Push it back up. And then lower all the way back down to the earth as slow as you can. Untucking the toes, pressing the toes into the earth. Fingertips underneath the shoulders. Inhale. Pushing the heart up and forward. Coming into your low cobra. Exhale it out. Release. And then pushing yourself back into your table, untucking the toes, coming back into your downward facing dog. Breath in. Exhale it out. Another breath in. Exhale it out. And then lifting the right leg. Back foot is kissing the back of the wall. Opening that hip, stretching out that hip. Another breath here. Let it go. And then coming back into that 3-legged dog. And then bringing that knee to the chest. And then pressing that foot right in front of you, dropping that back left knee. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, release. Untuck, stepping the left foot forward, coming into your halfway lift, flat spine. Crown facing forward, hand on shins. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, bring it back all the way, coming into your standing mountain. Exhale, let it out. Hinge forward again from the waist, release. Bring it back, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into that high plank, holding that high plank for a breath. Exhale it out. Lower halfway, option to drop to the knees. Push it back up. Lower halfway. Push it back up. Lower halfway. And then untuck the toes, pushing it all the way back up, opening the heart, coming into your upward facing dog. Exhale it out. And then pushing it back into your downward facing dog. Taking a full breath in. Exhale it out. And then lifting the left leg, kissing that back wall. Opening that hip. Stretch it up. Squaring off those shoulders. And then coming back into your three-legged dog. Bringing in that left knee into the nose. And then step it through. Dropping that right knee onto the earth. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release it back down. Untuck the back toes, stepping up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up. Greet the sun. Hands to heart center. Breath in. Let it out. Hinge from the waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. Step back, coming into that high plank. Hold that high plank for a full breath. Exhale it out. Now tap the right knee. Tap the left knee. Right knee. Left knee. Last one. Tap. Tap. Lower halfway. Either coming into your low cobra, upward facing dog, taking a breath in. Exhale, pushing it back into your downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. Exhale it out. Lifting the right foot. Bringing the right knee to the nose. Step it through. Dropping that left knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lifting. Untuck, step to the front of your mat. Coming into your halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach all the way up to greet the sun. Hands to heart center. Hinge from the waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, planting the hands. Step back. Coming into that high plank. Tapping the knees if you choose. Tap, tap, tap. Last one, tap, tap. Lower halfway. Open the heart, coming into your upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale it out. Downward facing dog. Taking a full breath in. Exhale it out. And then lifting the left leg. Bringing the left knee to the nose. Step it through. Dropping the right knee. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, release it back down. Untuck the right toes. Step it up. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Bring it all the way up. Hands to heart center. Take a moment here. Exhale it out. And then forward fold, hinge from the waist. Halfway lift. Plant the hands, step or hop back into your high plank. Lower halfway. Untuck the toes, low cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking 2 breaths here. Inhale it out. Exhale it out. Another breath in. Exhale it out. And then dropping to your knees, coming into your child's pose. If your back is a little twingy, maybe you want to splay the knees, toes are touching. Resting the forehead, your third eye onto the earth. Remembering child's pose is always available to you. No yoga Nazis here. We don't do that. Remembering it's your practice. Another breath. Inhale, letting the belly expand, pressing onto the thighs. And then exhaling it out. And then working your way back to your table, eventually coming into your downward facing dog. Settling into your dog. Taking another breath in. And exhaling it out. Bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Coming into your halfway lift, forward fold. Reach it all the way up. Exhale it out. Hinging from the waist. In. Exhale. Halfway lift. Let it go. Step back. High plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog or low cobra. Pushing it back into your downward facing dog. Taking a breath in. Exhale it out. Bend the knees. Look forward. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach up. Hands to heart center. Hinging from the waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back. Coming into your high plank. Low plank. Upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale it out, downward facing dog. Taking a breath in. Exhale it out. Bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Coming into your halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach up, breathe the sun. Hands to heart center. We're gonna flow with this just one more time, but going at your own pace, eventually meeting in downward dog. So hinging from the waist. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Once you're in your downward dog, finding your breath again. Last breath. Exhale it out. And then lifting the right leg. Bringing knee to nose. Extend it back out. Bringing knee to nose again. And then getting that back foot ready with that stiletto, step it through. Hold for a moment, building your base. And then bring it up into your high crescent. Option to both post the arms. Maybe hands to heart center. Finding what feels good for your shoulders. Relaxing the shoulders down the spine. We're gonna hold this for another breath. Exhale it out. And then, if you need a block, if it's close by, we're going to go into Warrior 3 if you feel that you need a block. But taking it slow, pushing that back foot forward, finding your balance, finding what hands work, whether it's extended long, hands to heart center. Taking another breath in, let it go. And then gently step back, coming into your high crescent, opening up into your warrior 2. Adjusting your stance as needed, heels to heel. Checking that tush, no torque or booties. Bring it in. Relaxing the shoulders down the spine, looking into the horizon. Another breath in. Exhale it out. And then bringing the hands up, straightening the knee. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, up. Exhale, warrior 2. Another breath in. Release it out. And then reversing your warrior. Option to bind. Keeping a nice deep bend in that front knee. Knee is in line with that ankle. Last breath. And then coming back. Warrior 2. Straighten the front knee. Not lock it out, but straighten it. Jazz hands ready. Jazz hands. Taking that back hip. Coming into your Trikonasana, your triangle. And then acting like there's a rubber band, pulling that side body up. So you have a nice triangle right in here. Last breath. Exhale it out. Coming back into your warrior 2. Cartwheel the hands, framing the right foot, step back. Coming into your high plank, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Taking a full breath in. Exhale it out. Lifting up the left leg, kissing that back wall. Knee to nose. Extend it back out, knee to nose. And then building that back stiletto, pressing those toes into the earth, stepping that left foot through, and then rise it up into your high crescent. Making your options with your arms, whether it's goal post, hands to heart center, finding what works for your shoulders. Another 2 breaths. And then bringing the hands to heart center. Begin to slowly take off into flight into your warrior 3. And if you need your blocks, remember, you can just place your hands right here. Continuing to breathe. Little micro bend in that left knee. Last breath. And then gently step back into your high crescent. And then open up to this lovely view. Yes. Warrior 2. Tucking that tailbone in. No twerk our booties. Bring it in. Relaxing the shoulders down the spine. Continuing to look off into the horizon. Another breath in. Exhale it out. And then reverse your warrior. Option to bind. Remembering, keeping that deep bend in that front knee. Knee is in line with the ankle. Last breath. Exhale it out. Coming back into your warrior two, straightening in that front knee. Finding your jazz hands, taking that back hip, and then coming into your triangle. And remembering there's a rubber band pulling up that side body. Another breath in. Exhale it out. And then coming back into your warrior two. Cartwheel the hands, frame the foot, step back, high plank, low plank, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale it out, downward facing dog. Taking 2 breaths here. Exhale it out. Another breath in. Exhale it out. Now we're going to do a little breath movement, so we're going to do this one more time before we bring it all down. So lifting the right leg, knee to nose. Extend it back out. Knee to nose. Step it through. Rise up. Exhale it out. Open it up. Warrior two. Reach forward. Reverse your warrior. Exhale it out. And then coming back into that warrior two, straightening that leg. Take it down. Exhale it out. Coming back into that warrior two, cartwheel the hands, frame the foot, step back, high plank, low plank, upward facing dog or low cobra, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, exhale it out. Lifting the left leg, knee to nose, extend it back out, knee to nose, step it through, high crescent, exhale it out, open up, warrior two, exhale it out, reach forward, reverse your warrior, release, straighten the front leg, jazz hands, take it back, coming into your triangle, waiting for the exhale, coming back up, warrior two, framing the foot, step it back, high plank, low plank, upward facing dog or low cobra to downward facing dog, and then dropping to the knees, finding your child's pose. Coming back to the breath. Big inhale in, release it out. And then coming from your child's pose, go ahead, bring it around, sitting on the tush. We're gonna do some hip openers, stretching hips because we hold a lot in those hips. So taking your, I do know my right from my left, your right foot over top of the thigh, coming into like a log pose. And just settle there just for a moment, just to see how you feel, because you just might be here. If you want to take it a little deeper to stretch out that hip, walking the fingers in front of the right toes, the ones that's resting on top. To stretch out that outer hip. And then with each exhale, taking it a little deeper. Another breath in. Exhale it out. And then gently bring it back up. And then releasing that foot. Bringing that right foot in front of you, extending the left leg long. And then a couple of options here. You can either wrap the arm around the knee or maybe on the outside of that right knee. And then twisting the body, keeping the spine nice and straight and tall, flexing those left toes. And again, with each exhale, see if you can deepen your twist. Rinse it all out. Last breath. And then bring it back, walk it around to the left for a counter twist. And then bring it back. Reaching the legs long, shake it out just a little. And then bringing both legs back in again, this time taking the left foot, placing it on top, like a log. Maybe you're here, and this is where you want to be. Or if you choose, go ahead and extend to the side with the left toes on top. Continuing to breathe, stretching out that outer hip. Remember, with each exhale, take it a little deeper. And then bring it back up. Taking that left leg, bringing it in close to the body, extending the right leg out. And then taking your options, maybe you want to wrap around the knee or bring it outside of the knee, keeping that spine nice and tall. Flexing those right toes. And then twist. With each exhale, see if you can take that twist a little deeper. And then release, bringing it around to the right for a counter twist. And then bringing it back to center. I'm gonna do someone's favorite, frog pose. So roll your mats halfway, just to kind of coat the knees, protect those knees. I'm gonna show you the lovely side first. So spreading the knees wide, and the sides with the big toes are facing down to the earth. And then if you're over 40 like me, your body will snap, crackle, and pop. Perfectly normal. And then walking the heart forward. Placing the head down. Continuing to breathe. Maybe see what it brings up for you. Settling into it. Letting go with each exhale. And then gently come out of it, safety first, pressing the hands into the earth, bringing the back toes into meet, and then bringing the knees in. And then go ahead and unroll your mat. And you guys know I love my back openers here, my heart openers. So if you have blocks or a pillow, bolster, blankets, whatever you choose. So I'm going to start with, if you have no blocks, you just have a bolster and a blanket or a pillow, line them up. And I'll show the blocks in a second. Line them up just like so at the base of your spine, right above your sacrum. And then just lean the heart back, opening the arms. It works with blocks too. Choice is yours. And then you have a couple of options with the feet, the legs. So you can have them up or straight out, or maybe you want to butterfly them. Now, if you have the block, finding those two pointy bones right beneath, well, the shoulder blades, and resting your block either on the middle setting, high setting, low setting, whatever works for you. And then resting the heart back. And same foot option applies. Flying those arms out. Maybe you want to take the extra block, place it behind the base of the skull. Opening the heart. Releasing anything that might be in the heart. Letting it go. Focusing on the breath. Last breath here. And then rolling to one side to relieve the block from underneath you. And if you still have a block, you want to use it, lifting the hips up off of the earth, placing that block right at the sacrum tush, and then coming into your waterfall, letting the oxygen flow back to the brain. While we're here, maybe you want to place the hands flat onto the earth to ground you. Or maybe you want to open the hands to receive energy. One more breath. dropping the feet down to the earth, and then lifting the pelvis, releasing the block, and then gently coming down onto the spine. And then coming into your happy baby, hands on the outside of the feet, or maybe peace fingers around the toes. Maybe you want to massage the spine by rocking it back and forth. Maybe you want to extend one leg, extend the other leg. Maybe extend both legs. Or optional, bringing the feet together, pulling that stretch overhead. And then release, bending the knees, dropping the knees to the right, head to the left. Either goalpost the arms or let them lay long, coming into your spinal twist. Bringing the knees back up to center. Dropping them to the left, head to the right. And then bringing the knees back to center. Taking a moment here, we're going to do a little self-care that we try to fit in as often as we can. So taking your two fingers, that's your index finger and your middle finger, bringing them to the temples, finding whatever pressure works for you. And then gently massaging down the temples, giving yourself a few strokes. And then bringing it all the way down the side of the face, to the side of the neck, pressing all the way down by the collarbones. Doing it again, starting at the temples, bringing it all the way down the side of the face, down the side of the neck, to the collarbones. And then taking those two fingers, bringing them to the bridge of the nose, and sweeping down the side of the face where the sinuses are. Just a few strokes. And then taking your thumb, pressing it into the middle of your hand, giving yourself a gentle hand massage. Just release. Maybe draw a circle around it. And the other hand. And then letting it all go. Extending the feet long if you choose. If your back is a little twingy, maybe having the feet on the outer edges of the mat with the knees closed. Coming into your final resting space. Letting the eyes gently close. Body sink into the mat. And then just doing an inventory of the body as we go into Shavasana. Starting with the feet, the toes, letting all the tension go. Working your way up to the pelvis, letting it sink into the earth. Letting all the tension go in the hands, releasing the fingers. letting it rise up to the heart, releasing anything you might be holding. Let it go. Relaxing the shoulders down the spine. Unclenching the jaw. Letting the tongue go from the roof of the mouth. And then letting the eyeballs sink back into the sockets. The skull melts into the earth. Shavasana. Life is a balance of holding on and letting go. Begin to slowly awaken. Finding your own journey, your own path, with your eyes still closed, to a comfortable seated position. Or stay in Shavasana if you choose, still your practice. And once you have made your way there, option to have the hands up to receive energy, or hands on the legs facing down to ground you. Just take a moment to take a breath in and let it go. Take another breath in. Let it go. And then bringing the hands together, begin to build up heat. Taking that heat that you have built, placing it upon your heart. Together we inhale. Together we exhale that warmth from our hearts into the universe. Bringing your hands together. Thumb knuckles to the third eye. Thank you for practicing with me today. And during my Saturday morning twerk session, yes. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste.
One, two, three, 2, 2, 3.